Hey guys, my name is Cidiac and welcome back to another episode of SnowFool here in City Skylines. Well, last episode we started to build our kind of like would you call it like a downtown area? I don't think so. It's more like a kind of government area? Is that the best way to put it? I don't really know. I can't remember what I called it last episode, but we started to make some progress and started to build on the other side of the river. We got a few problems that we need to solve today, and hopefully we can do that, but most importantly, we got quite a bit of a residential demand that we have to spend and get our first residents living over on the other side of the river. So if you are enjoying the series and want to see more, make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But we're back. We are back, baby. Now, we have this issue coming up every so often about not enough, resources or natural resources for some of these buildings. And every so often, we get this huge import wave coming in. Not enough raw materials. That's what they're asking for right now. And I mean, this huge wave of imports coming in, which causes loads of traffic, and then loads of traffic going back as you try and get out of here. And I've tried to solve it by building like the zoned industry for it, but I completely forgot, and I gotta apologize to boy Snowy because he taught me this about a year ago, and then I completely forgot what he told me, and I did the same thing again. But you gotta get rid of the product underneath, or the resource underneath, otherwise it doesn't produce the specialized goods that are needed in question. So we don't really have, actually we are starting to get right now. Oh no, that's not, it's the police station. I zoned over here the industry, and I have a region set up which is for oil. I did the exact same thing over here for ore, but the problem is you've got to get rid of the resource, which in reality is kind of counterintuitive, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It is kind of counterintuitive that you have to get rid of the resource underneath. You wouldn't really think that is the case, but you kind of do to get the goods that are needed for all of this. It's weird. I know it's weird. Very, very weird. But we're going to get rid, and I don't know if it's best to kind of do it via looking at the resources and going for a slightly larger brush size. I can't go too big with the brush size because it will get rid of too much that I don't want. But if I get rid of all of this, if I get rid of the... Am I planting trees now? What's going on? Oh no, it naturally shows us the greenery and tree area because we're obviously coming up to the tree side of it. So get rid of all of you. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. There we go. And them buildings there should then hopefully start producing exactly what we need. Now, we zoned a load of area. Where am I right now? There we go. Around here. That kind of glitched out really bad. Around here that we're going to have to get rid of. So we get like a different type of factory then kind of getting built. Now, we are going to have to create some industrial demand, which I do not have at this moment in time, which should be quite easy to get, hopefully, when I start kind of placing down more of our residential. But I don't think I got any other zoning. No. So hopefully, they start producing the goods in question. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So we'll see how much that changes things moving forward. So we'll let it do what it's going to do. And we're going to spend this residential demand. Now, this is what we built in our last episode, by the way. Do we still have the traffic coming in? Yeah, we have vast amounts of traffic, and that's because we've got lots of things that we need to sort out. One of them is, are they slowing down here? We've got to allow them to flow through. It's all good there. That will hopefully get the vehicles moving through here a little bit quicker anyway. But yeah, we need additional entrances and exits for this area, so we're not just relying on the one, which is causing a huge traffic backlog, because we do have a lot of tourist stuff within this vicinity. Also, the same thing as well, we've pretty much got to set up a metro, underground metro, because we have one leading over to the airport, as you can now see. But obviously, we want to also be able to use multiple loops to, have them not use vehicles to get over here. But I'm going to build one here anyway. We're going to get this all up and running. Now, first things first then, I need to elevate the train line. Have this going back up. So I reckon from this point here, we elevate it going all the way down. And now if I select, for example, if I select you, and I select, for example, you, and then, oh, hold on. Set this to the object height of you, and then we'll just use our kind of elevation alignment tool to get it all on the heights that we pretty much want. Because this road's going to go underneath, and then we're going to create a nice little simple on and off ramp to get us all, you know, smoothly connected. So our alignments then, we're going to go from this point that we just raised to this one. Get that all in. Now, he doesn't raise it by much, so that just goes to show that we're not really that high in the sky. So we'll have to do some more configuring on that. That's not a problem. Not a problem indeed. Now, we'll get our road now all up and running, which we want it to stay down. So we'll go to about there, which is perfectly fine. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one, boys. Or is it this one? There we go. And then we're going to have to bring the highway cutting directly across all of this as well. So highway road, which is just here. So I think it's set by a 6, isn't it, the height? No, this is an 8. Definitely not how we want it. I'm going to bring it to here. It's probably a little bit further than I actually want it. But this is solely to give us the space needed to create our on and off slip ramp. Now, we've done many of these in the past before. It's not nothing new. And this is basically going to be one of these. But obviously, where this is elevated up above, the other one's going to be below it. That's all it's going to do. So nothing too fancy is really going on here at the moment. But we're going to have to sort out the placements of these roads anyway. So coming from here, do I do a 10 and connect it via a 10? So have that elevated up anyway, and we'll go out by a 10 there. So that's a 10 by a 10 there. So that's a 10 into there. That's a 10 into there. Sweet. Oh, no, I didn't mean to build that. I didn't mean to build it. I'm sorry. So just so, the reason I'm doing a 10 space, because it's a bigger gap between the two junctions. That's why it's, you know, quite important to kind of go down that route of making a wider gap. So we're now going to upgrade these to then being the slip roads. And they go that way. That goes that way. And then we're just going to get these straight connected in. So we'll set up our own little bend. Actually, do you know what? No. We'll go up by... Nah, we'll go straight for the bend. So how big of a bend do we go with? Let's go via 20. 20 in each one, and then we'll create our little bend in, and we've got to sort out all our lane math as well. There we go. So then flip this all around to the ways that it needs to be set up. Perfect. And let's sort these out. So if I select this node here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you reckon that's about it? Because I could bend this one. That will lead in. Do you reckon that's about right? And I could slightly bend that one. So that was 5. That would then be a 4, 3. If I take it slightly back on each one. So they come out, they bend in to then bend up. So it almost like slingshots them. So that'll be a 1, 2, 3. So if I slightly bent that in for the alignment to then bend that one out. I like the idea of that slingshot. 1, 2, 3. So bending you to slingshot you. Now that one seems a lot better than this one. Is it because I bent that one a little bit more? Wow, you can really create some kind of cool designs now, couldn't I? Oh, I don't want to push it too far. Because you get some weird stuff then happening. But that's quite fun, isn't it? That little slingshot on the go. So 1, 2, 3. Obviously bending this bad boy. How does that look? That looks pretty cool, right? Let's sort this one out with a little bit more of a bend. Now that one looks longer than this one. Or is it just the angle that I'm looking at? Oh, wow. Okay, when you then turn it around and view it differently. It looks a little bit funky, doesn't it? Right. We'll go with that. It might not be perfectly aligned, but we'll go with it. And then we'll lead it out, or lead it in on double lanes. Like that. That makes it look even worse, doesn't it? Okay, maybe we go back to a single lane on this one. So the reason I do double lanes here, because it's in 2 to turn off, 2 to enter, and then they filter in 1, so we can just get the traffic off the junctions a little bit quicker. You know what I mean? That's the whole reason kind of behind it. So I'm going to sort out some alignments real quick. There we go. And then of course we then got to make sure that we use our lane math. And this all becomes a singular lane. There we go. And then sort out the lanes as they connect in. And then sort this out as well. So this will be your direct right turn there, and then to enter from here. So that's how we can get 2 vehicles on at once. 2 vehicles exiting at once, and then these are the ones that cross over that don't have to interact too much. So you only get a couple of lines that do cross, but it means we can have 2 enter and 2 exit if it's all clear and all free all at once to alleviate the traffic pressures. So same with all this again. There we go. You're straight over. You're into there. You're down here. And then we just turn off the traffic lights to allow us to have a little bit more freedom. So it's a bit different. It's a bit different to what we would normally do. It's not perfect, but it should do us some justice. So into play mode then, because now we have this connection available, which also is used to access this area as well, which is interesting. So we might start seeing a little bit more movement going on in that direction now. It might take a while for them to figure out that it is possible, but it definitely is possible. It might not be the quicker route though still, because, you know, it's until I start building stuff around here, they might still go this way because it's technically not the quicker route. But it will be interesting, baby. It will be interesting. More vehicles are moving than ever before anyway. Right, good stuff then. So only time will tell. Only time will tell. Okay. So I was about to say, should we go and check what's going on over here? But I've had the game pause this whole time, so I don't think much would have really happened, to be honest with you. But let's start planning out some zoning for some residential. So I think what we're going to do is maybe use a little bit around here. Or I could actually start building some around this area. That might be the better option. Oh, I'm actually getting vehicles over here right now. So they're utilising it. So it turns out to be quite handy for them. So let's try and plan out then our kind of 11 by 11 grid format, because we've always got to think of if we're going to be placing down any roundabouts in this area. We want to make sure that we get it just perfect. So that there is R11. And that's R11 there. So that was a lot easier than I expected it to be. So that there is R11, but that's not R11. 11, 12. How did I do this one so easy? That's shocking how easy that one was. Right, that's 11, which needs to be a 9. That's 11. I've messed it all up. Right, delete you. So that's an 11, that's an 11, but I think this here's a 9. Alright, 10 there. Perfect. So we're going to run this down to where the bend then begins. Same with this. The bend pretty much then begins there. And that will sort our alignment. We add in a connection just here for all of that. We'll use some terraining to kind of smoothen it all out anyway. There's no big deal. No big deal. And then where does this then connect? Oh, I hear the thunder and lightning, baby. That goes in just there. Now, where do we have the connection to this? I think we'll only do one. Keep it like that. So this leading up turns out to be just over a 30. So we'll keep it like that anyway. I could run in there and then do this connection where the straightness all ends. That works out fairly well. And this leading up to there is a 20. So out by a 10. Out by a 10. So bring it up a little bit more and then complete that bend in question. So this is us trying now to build some type of a suburb area. Well, not really a suburb area because it's going to be all kind of tall buildings anyway. Lead that all in. Nice. So this road then bends away from us. So if I utilize, say here as that final bit that would go up, bringing this down just to there, to where, again, where the road bends. So that all follows the alignment naturally. And we need somewhere for this road here to end as well. So I don't know whether to kind of go up by another 10 just here. And that's where we could choose that to end. Because that will naturally then be a 20 away. And use that as a main road that cuts through. Thinking about maybe building some type of a park area here as well. So if I used... Where does that run? There's a connection snap just here. So if this came out to 20-ish there. And then we went 7 by 7 bend. Transition that in nicely. Now I've got the option to either run that directly in to there, which almost, right, created that perfect alignment. I'm not worried too much about that anyway. Straight in. Right, this alignment's slightly all out. But there's a way to do this. There is a way to do this right now. And actually, do you know what? I might compensate for it on all of this. So, where is that connection? That's just there. Now, I just need to make sure that this... it's slightly out, so... What we'll do is 10 down. And then we'll get to here. That's all out as well. Something fishy's going on here. Something real fishy's going on here. All right, that's better. What is going on? It's just like all the alignments just decide, no, not today. We're not going to work today. Right, you know what? I'm not even going to argue anymore. I'm not even going to argue anymore. Right, just like that. And then this 4-lane road will end just there. Nice and simple. So this gives us room then to utilize maybe like a little bit of a park area eventually. Now, and I'm trying to think where said park area would work. Now I'm thinking I come off here in the middle, but the bend's not enough. Where does this bend take place? Almost there, so it's almost like a 4, but it's not. It's like a 4. It's a weird one, isn't it? I reckon we've got to have to stick this out by 3 to try and get... I have to manually force this. 3 by 3, for the slightest bend in the world right now. To run this directly down, which that needs to be on the ground. And you know what? I will run this into here. There's our 2 connections. Glorious! Absolutely glorious. Now, we'll run this one down anyway here. Because that's an important connection for us. To go into there. That's going to be too close. Or will it? I don't know. That might be too close as of a connection. As long as we make sure that the speed limits are okay. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, they're doing what I didn't want them to do. So what we've got to do here. The problem is, this is the same speed limit. And we discovered this last episode. It's the downside of using rural roads. Right, that's a 60, 70. It's all different speed limits at this point, isn't it? Right, can I move you up? Yeah. .30s all the way down. .30s on these. So it is technically to deterrent them using it. And for them to stick to the main roads. Which, with the way it's looking right now, they're pretty much doing it. So still backlogs of traffic right now, but it's mainly moving. Wow, we got some... It's crazy how big the backlogs are, isn't it? It is crazy to see how big they are. So, a few more road connections I reckon we need. And then I reckon we're good. So, little gaps here and there will implement like trees and stuff. So we'll leave a park area to be here. So I don't want too much going on around this area. And we'll get some water to now cover this side. And we'll start building some beautiful residential. Right. Get you up. All the way up and over. To there. Wabam. Okay. So. High density residential we'll start with. I'll quickly pause because we're going to have to do some power alignment too. So this all around here. We'll have to throw in some commercial, don't get me wrong. We'll do a nice little commercial section directly in the middle, which will back on. We'll do it here as well. It'll back on to our park area. We're throwing more residential. La-di-da-di-da, all the way down. Now this is all high density. This is all high density. And we'll only do it on this side, so we can leave the other side open, spaced and free. Unless I throw commercial down on there, who knows. For the most part, I'll run it like this. And see how we get on. Now, all that residential demand that I've got right now, how much of it do you reckon it will fill before the demand's dead? I don't think it will be much, if I'm completely honest with you right now. Let's see where the first residential decides to build itself. And then we'll place down the power grid. If they're even going to spend the residential demand. Oh, it's over there. It's in the center. Right, I might let it spread a little bit first before we go any further. And I'm going to save this space over here to build like a hospital or something like that. And get some additional services down as well. Now, wait for something to really push itself out that I can use to kind of hook a power line to. But I'm surprised that we still have quite a large amount of residential demand still. Normally when it's that high, it's like it disappears really quickly. Alright, there we go. So let that do what it's got to do then before I implement any services or any park area. Just let it naturally build itself up. Now, I like the idea. I like the fact that we still have vast amounts. What's going on here? I'm sure I'd set this up to where they can flow through. Wait, is there traffic lights here? What's it? Why is there traffic lights there? That's hilarious. Do you reckon that was the whole issue this whole time? I've never known to build a trumpet and traffic lights get implemented like that. That's wild. That's really wild right now. Okay. Right, we'll see what that does then. So that should hopefully push the... If that now clears all the traffic, that's hilarious. My whole problem was I had traffic lights on a highway. That's funny. That's real funny right now. So, do you reckon this is working out then in the end? Do you reckon we get in there? There's a lot of ore stored nearby. Coincidence? I think not. Oh no, that's for the normal industry, sorry. That's for the normal industry. It's this specialization stuff. Oh, would you look at that? All these are dead. And then which one's 30% full? The ore. Yeah, this is working. We just need zoning from all the other industries. Now, I'm assuming we don't have any... Oh, no, we are starting to get the oil ones popping up right now. So, there's no zoned industry over here for it. So that will get transported over to the mainland. Okay, so my residential demand is now gone. And this is all we got out of it. I'm telling you, it was not a lot. It was not a lot. We are hopefully clearing some of these backlogs anyway. But I don't know why the reason is they want to turn into here so bad. I'm going to put this down to 30 miles an hour, these roads. See if it changes anything. I very much doubt it will. But let them do what they've got to do. They want to get to... I mean, there's a lot of stuff around here anyway, so it's understandable why this area is so busy. It is really, really understandable. But the backlog across the bridge is now ultimately gone. This will soon eventually die down. So, I'm not going to do anything with this, because I just want to see when it naturally dies down, how much of an issue it then does become. But, again, we need public transport. That will solve a lot of the traffic issues. But I want to wait until I build up a bit more space in the area so I know ultimately what I'm working with. Right. Let it do what it gotta do, baby. So that's all now coming along pretty nice. I wonder what our imports and exports are like now. Like, where do I see? I always forget which one it is. Imports and exports. That's no, not the right one. Not you. Haha. So a lot of oil. Oh, this is a lot of imports, by the way. So exports, it's all goods. Some oil products are going out, which is from what we're creating over here. It doesn't really say the specialized zone stuff, does it? Nah. Interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. Oh, I wonder what the ones over here are like. Do you reckon the ones that store the ore? Yeah, the ones that store the ore are still the ones with the highest storage, because obviously that's what we're producing the most of. Same over here as well. So it is working. It is working. We're slowly getting there. Alrighty. I'd like to know where all these vehicles are heading to. International Trade Building. Driving to Megastore. Colossal Order Offices. Skyscraper Bank. It's a little bit of everything, okay? It's a little bit of everything. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's all going to be quite nice when it's all done, isn't it? It is all going to be quite nice. Now I'm thinking, you know how I've done this one? Maybe I should have made this one a little bit smaller. I don't know why I chose to make it so big. But I might implement the smaller ones on this side as all these three then connect. I reckon that's what we potentially are going to do. Now, last episode as well, I played with the idea of maybe building like some type of a stadium in this train loop area, which I think will be quite a cool and different and unique area to do. But at the same time, I feel like I want to solve this as well. Now, my idea is not to allow them to do a left-hand turn, but to force them to go around a roundabout and then do what they've got to do. Now, we're going to implement this type of roundabout here, but it doesn't need the tram line. So do I have a roundabout that doesn't contain a tram? I do, which is this one over here, but it connects a little bit differently anyway. So, roundabout time! The roundabouts are turning up, boys! And we'll go for a 16 size. So, implement, yeah. There you go. Was 60 the right idea? No, it was not. It was not the right idea. I should have kept it at 40. A little bit too big, Sunny. A little bit too big. 40? There we go. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to anchor the middle point by doing this, this, and this. We'll delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you. And then we bring these within 5 away from it. So there we go. There we go. This is a 6 away. There we go. There we go. So the reason for that is we allow us to then sort out the highway connection 2-lane road. So that's going to lead to over here. So we can get just after each little section. There we go. So just after it comes off the snap. Okay, it might not work on the other ones right now, so we'll delete this one. Actually, what would it be like on that? That could be quite interesting. So we'll go with that. So now let me delete the middle bit. Let me now flip around what's needed to be flipped. There we go. And now let me sort out the rest of this roundabout. So this is going to come in a bit. I think this one went slightly distorted, but it's all okay. There we go. Look at that for a roundabout already. This is glorious. Well, I feel like I slightly messed this one up though. But that will work. Look at that. That's like a perfect star. Almost. Right, this one is slightly a bit funky right now. I don't know what it is about it. But we'll go with that anyway. I'm happy with how it's turned out. I feel like some areas are a little bit further away than others. But I'm not going to complain. This will do exactly what it needs to do. This actually doesn't look right now, does it? What is it about this area? It's something to do with one of these, isn't it? No. Ah, I think that's what I was missing. That's what I was missing, that one over there. That kind of all threw it out and squiffed it. So we're going to sort that roundabout now up. There we go. So this is different because I've done the same joint connection for each of the slips. So I don't really know how this is going to turn out, if I'm completely honest with you. I've never really built it like this. Allow them to flow through on this set of junction section. There we go, there we go, there we go. Alignments on the roads just for this bit here, so they're not turning around on it. And play. So give a moment now. I want to see how they interact with this, because this is not how I would normally build said roundabout. This is not how I would normally build it. Now, obviously it's caused a lot of traffic issues. And I think making the junctions, this junction be the same, causes issues with the traffic not, well, with the traffic not giving way. So they must give way, which is all set up to do that, but I don't quite know if they even... Oh, okay. No, they are doing it. They are doing it. It's just because it's so close, it looks closer than what it actually is, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It just looks closer than what it is. So that's an interesting way to build the roundabout. I've never really built it like that before. I'm still a little bit dubious about it and a little bit unsure. But we'll see. There is just so much traffic going through this area though, isn't there? There really is. Now what I could do is say to these guys here, guys, you can't make that turn anymore. Okay? Now what this does is force them to go around the roundabout. Forces them to go around the roundabout, which causes one of many issues. They either go around here to go up, or round back on themselves to turn in. It all depends on which way they are pretty much going. But what it mainly does is allow the traffic to continue to flow. Now the only ones losing out right now are these guys here. Now normally I don't like to sort out the road alignments. But we set this up like that to allow them to flow through. Now that would obviously go like this, and then this one. So I'm setting that up there. I don't normally force roundabouts like this, but I'm setting this up to allow these guys to kind of continue to flow, because that's causing a bit of a backlog just there. I've only done it to that one, and we'll see how the rest of it now goes. Well, you can still go around and turn off and go in that direction, not a problem. Right, guys, it's not a problem. Yeah, that green lane, yeah, can go straight over. So yeah, it does work out. We just freed that up. So we should see some more movement right now. Now, maybe the same thing needs to be applied to this. Or maybe because the way I'm building this, it just, you know, it's just feeling different altogether. But I needed to stay away from this roundabout altogether anyway. So I reckon we force them to the next junction on this. To allow ultimate movement of vehicles. So we force them to that one to make their turns in. But this should be adequate enough right now. And these are now flowing through. So ever so often they stop. Because one of them gets brake checked. Almost. But it's a bit different. It definitely is a little bit different right now. It does force the problem to another junction. But we are seeing quite a lot of traffic right now anyway. I can't believe how much wants to get over here. Now this would work in the real world. And it would work in the game in general anyway if I had my public transport network all set up. So why... Oh, do we need more power? I believe we do. So why not implement a public transport network and like add in our underground metro? So with this being implemented in, over here we did the road, or the connections to the road, which worked out fairly well. But that was when you're also implementing tram routes. Now, we're not implementing trams on this side, so I don't need to do the hubs with the tram line connected to it. Which what we were using was this one, Metro to Tram Hub. We're not doing that one. But we do have the option to implement different styles in general. So like the sunken bypass one. That's a really cool way to kind of implement it all in. But it all depends on all depends where it's all kind of going. Now, I could utilize an area to have the central point, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep it all connected in many ways. So I have the ability to kind of work with this stuff. Now that's an interesting one. This one is sunken with another gap as well. But usually the gap's normally a little bit longer than you expect. Or I just keep it nice and simple. The sunken one here. Obviously I want to go in that direction. Works here. But maybe not so much elsewhere. Like for example, if I implemented you here. Implemented this one then just here. Which would mean I need something for this area. It's a little bit of a tough one. It is a little bit of a tough one. And where this next one could pretty much line up. Now, ideally, you would maybe want it... I mean, I could place it in the center just there. And then build around it. So that's 3 stops that loop back. And all I do for now is loop them back to the airport. That's all I'll do is loop them back to the airport. Now I think I need to move this red line to the airport to get rid of this one. So I'm getting rid of how many lines they have to kind of crisscross. So we're going to have to now sort this all out because this is going to be a little bit confusing for us now. So Underground Metro, that, let me do it by line name. I'm assuming it's like this line here, right? Is it this one? View the line. No. What does it fall under then? Line overviews. Not you. It's not yellow one, is it? This green one? Oh. Hold on. That's trams. Seniac, you absolute noob. There were trams. Right, delete this one. Oh my goodness me, I'm having one of those moments. Right, delete this. All underneath. Delete this going across. So we now extend that red line to ultimately being connected into here. And we'll do it on, yeah, we'll do it on that one there. So it should be quite easy, fairly easy to kind of connect to it. Get rid of all of that. So the trams then, Metro. I'm stuck on trams. I'm low-key stuck on trams in my head. Underground. So this, actually, we might be able to use the connection tool for the majority of this. You there to there. So just maximize it where we can, which should work out fairly well. I'll have to lower all that again, which is not a problem. And then we'll get rid of the connection tool just here, and then we've got to build the line going off there. There we go. And then we're going to try and loop it back into there. So we've gone into there. So we're going from there to over here. Which, again, the reality of this is when we come to working with this area, there's the ability to add another station in here. So it just gives us that additional stop. Now, this is quite a long bend round, but I'm going to keep it like that because that's how naturally it's going to look. Now, if we select all of this, and the only thing that should be selected is what's now underground, sink it all the way down, and we shouldn't then we shouldn't be able to even see it then at that point, right? Well, there's a little bit of a ridge still. There we go. There we go. And then this little section just here. Drop it down to where we can't see it. Can we still see that bit there? Yeah. Alright, shouldn't be able to see it now. Good stuff. So, with that line that comes into here, I'm actually going to drag the station. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Because if I press play, it should automatically update itself. Momentarily. Any memento now? Right, that side there's updated. So I can get that to stop in. And we just got to wait for the line on the opposite side to now update itself as well. Look at the amount of tourists getting off here. Again, this is why we heavily need the metro set up. Is that done? There we go. This one now is also set up. There we go. So stops there, which means we can now still utilize the airport for the most part. But having this line now connected is going to be a little bit of a game changer for us. So back to getting all this sorted out then. So for now, it is what it is. On the connections, nothing too crazy going on. There we go. Just do what we can here. So they're all connected there. Now we've got to get this big loop connected, which again, a little bit crazy. But maybe we can also perform a crisscross on these two lines and they crisscross there again. Who knows? Who knows? But for now, this is just what we're going to do. Okay, this is just going to get it all set up for the sake of getting it all set up. So from there, we're going to come out and we'll do a big... Let's do a big 20 by 20 bend. Right, it's not going to work out because that's how we get it all set up. 16 by 16, which should be enough then to have the connection tool come into play. Which it is. Which will go just like that. You wouldn't even know what's going down right now. And coming off this. And then how would this work? I reckon what I do is a big 20-ish by 20-ish bend. And then just like that. Now, ignore how it connects back to the airport, okay? Until I have my other area set up, this is just how it's going to have to be, unfortunately. But it's really important, okay? It's really important right now because we should now see a huge difference in the traffic. So there to there. Because they can all crisscross at the airport. Back down to here. To here. And then going back the opposite way. Now, I'm going to have to provide more power options. And there we go. There we go. So more power options are needed, which we currently don't have the ability to implement those just yet. We've got some power over here, but that's really it. What would be the best way to kind of go about doing that? Okay, what I'll do for now, I'm just going to drop a nuclear plant just here for now, until I have a better option and method that I can implement soon. So hopefully with this metro then we can get rid of the excessive amounts of vehicles skedoodling around the area. Now I don't know whether to also use a smoothing tool to sort out some of these problems. There we go. Flatten a little bit of land. And it will take a little bit of time as well for us to see the benefit of the metro. It will take a little bit of time for the game to pass through. I mean, we got it all speeded up and everything like that, but there's only so much it will do. So we got metro stop either side to hopefully take advantage of all of this. You can now get over to there using solely metro as well, so the connections are now all in place. And it's a case of watching the lines switch over one another when it all comes together. So this is the other big problem as well. Everyone's coming out via vehicle, but I'm hoping that they now pick the metro option route. So it would be good here if we can also create a little V-slips to allow the traffic to flow off a little bit quicker. But we're just going to see what the metro does in question. I can't believe how much traffic and how many tourists want to be over in this area. I should have seen this coming in reality. I could do little slips coming off here to connecting as well, but that would just another junction to backlog. How far back does the traffic go? Okay, not too far. Do I have despawn turned off by any chance? Despawn enabled. Yeah, it's on easy mode, and this is happening right now. But like I said, we should see some improvements coming with the traffic, the metro lines anyway. It should all work out eventually. It'll be nice to see. Yeah, there you go. There's a train coming in now. A lot of people getting off, and they're transferring to this line. We've got a lot of blues right now on the platforms awaiting. So yeah, it won't solve the traffic, but I'm hoping it takes a large burden off it. That junction here has now become slightly a little bit more free, giving these guys a little bit more freedom. Do I set it up where these guys have the ability to pass through, thus stopping the backlogging? Now, it goes against everything that you would ever want. But it just allows a little bit more freedom for the vehicles to move in. I just got to remember to turn that off eventually. So if I start seeing the traffic jam starting to decrease, I know the metro, it's doing its job. Now, do we have a restriction here? By the looks of it, yes we did. That will allow that traffic to clear out a little bit more. That's now all gone. Oh, it looked worse than what it was. Didn't it? That actually looked a lot worse than what it actually was. So, we might start seeing some improvements. This in itself It's just one of those things. I think because of the 90-degree turn they got to slow down to on the highway. It just naturally causes a backlog in general. So we're going to get this one back a little bit more now as we're allowing these guys to flow on. So there's more going on. I really like this roundabout. I'm hoping I don't have to kind of change it to what what I normally make. I like how different it slightly is. I like how it's all combined together. But we'll see. That backlog's slowly dying down a bit right now, but obviously more coming in. And we see more movement on these lines. So on the actual, is this Metro here? Before I do anything about it, Metro, yeah. The new lines that I've just now created, which is my line 6 and line 7, that's what we're really looking out for at this point. Is making sure that, can I add high capacities? Yes. I just realized we can, did I not do this to all of it? No. Let's add the high capacity metros. Get more people moving about. But yeah, we're wanting to start seeing more people utilizing these. So it should be a big thing for us. So this, look, oh my god, look at how free the highway now is. So it's a bit of a combination by allowing them not to keep backing themselves up, but that won't be the whole reason why it's all now clear. This is now starting to die down as well. So the fact that we're now having the public transport implemented is a big thing. So we'll get rid of the ability for them to kind of run through. They're going to have to use the give way signs and all that kind of stuff. So now we're now pretty much back to normal. We're now pretty much back to normal on all that. So it will naturally just run its course anyway, and that will slowly reduce all of this. This is all now reducing. So just the basic implementation of public transport has really solved a lot of our issues. A lot of our issues. So it all worked out in the end, really, didn't it? It did. Now, we've still got large residential demands. That's the other thing as well. A lot of the traffic would have been people moving in with the residential. But the demands have definitely increased. We've got more to actually now zone in. So we'll spend that. I wonder if it's actually reduced. No, we've still got 10,000 more jobs available. Now, have the natural resources... not natural resources. Raw materials died down? Yes. So that has been solved pretty easy. I can't believe your boy Snowy told me that I completely, literally forgot all about it. But there we go. We Gucci, baby. We Gucci. So the ore is there, looking good. Everything is now going back to as it was. How long will it last? I don't know. So I think we can now get rid of all of these little shenanigans that we caused. So we can do the old crisscrosses. So coming out of here, you can go left and right. Coming out of here. Oh, hold on. Left and right. Am I missing one there? Straight. Your turn. Yes, I'm missing this one. So it gives them a little bit more freedom to exit in and out. And do I bring that one back into play? I don't know if I should. I think I'm gonna force them to use the roundabout. That's what we do. I think that's the smart way about doing it. So we'll get more waves as more people move in, all that kind of jazz. But hopefully it all works out well. I was really concerned about this, but to be honest with you, I don't think it'll be much of an issue because the road's leading from the airport. So I think we'll get away with that. This might be the issue though, leading in. But there's not too much traffic on the go right now. So I think it'll be okay. And on that note, we'll end it here. Hope you did enjoy, guys. We've solved a few headaches. So now we can go expansion crazy in the next coming episodes. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.